In this video, I'm going to share with you how to run a successful and profitable group coaching program. So I'm first going to cover why you might want to consider creating a group coaching program. Then I'm going to share some of the problems and pain points that people face as they develop their group coaching programs. I'll share a little bit about my story so you can understand how I figured all this out. And then I'm going to share 9 different strategies that you can consider integrating as you create your group coaching program. So there are a lot of reasons why you might want to create a group coaching program. Most of my clients and I myself started because we hit our limit. We hit our max of how many people we could handle one-on-one. That's a good problem to have, and it means that there's demand and desire for what you offer. If you haven't yet hit that place where you're at capacity one-on-one, or if you're not even doing one-on-one yet, I would recommend that you first get some one-on-one under your belt and develop some case studies and social proof for the results that you deliver before you try moving into a group program. Now, as always, if my advice doesn't resonate with you, then feel free to discard it and do what feels true to you. Okay, so as you decide to launch a group coaching program, I'm gonna go ahead and predict some of the issues and challenges that you might face, because these are the issues and challenges that most coaches face as they start to develop their group programs. The first challenge that I see over and over again and that I experienced myself is marketing and filling the group program. See, when you're doing one-on-one, you don't need that much volume. But as you move into a group program, you might need more leads coming in so that you can fill the program. The second problem you might run into is scaling your time and your operations. When you're doing one-on-one, it's very easy to handle a certain caseload of clients. But as you move into a group program, you might have a lot more people vying for your time and your attention, and that might present certain challenges. Another problem I faced, and that a lot of people face early on, is retention. We do all this work, all this marketing, all this training and enrollment to get people into the program, and then we don't retain them. So one of the things I'm going to focus on here in my 9 strategies is ways to keep your clients for the long haul. So a few years ago, back in 2007, I launched my business. And from 2007 to 2014, over 7 years, I spent most of my time doing gigs, doing one-on-one work, selling packages of 6 sessions or half days or full days. I was constantly selling and enrolling into these short-term programs. Now, I did well enough. In fact, if you looked at my tax returns at the end of each year, it would look like I was doing really, really well, and I was growing year over year. But the problem is, it didn't feel good while I was doing it. I was stressed out, I was anxious, I wasn't sleeping well, I was working late into the nights, early mornings, weekends, and finally, in 2014, I crashed. I had a breakdown. It was no longer sustainable for me to do the business the way I'd been doing it. Luckily, I met a mentor who showed me how to create a group program. In fact, he modeled it for me. He had a group program that I joined, and when I joined it, one of the questions I had for him was, "Will you teach me how to do this?" And he said yes. And he did. And what I learned from him, from Jake, was how to build a mastermind group coaching program that stands the test of time. So before I get into the 9 key strategies, just a little reminder to like this video and to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have so many more videos on packaging and pricing group coaching and selling and enrolling. So the first big transformation I want you to make in your mindset before I get into the strategies is that you're not building just a group coaching program. If you were building just a group coaching program, then it's very simple. People come, they go, they spend a year, they learn something, they leave. But if you want something that really lasts the way that I've built it, then I recommend considering that instead of building a program, what you're creating is a community. And even beyond a community, what you're really creating is a culture. Now, a culture is a place where people have shared values, where they are deeply invested in each other, where there's shared language, shared concepts, and a shared way of looking at the world that other people don't necessarily understand or embrace. So that's what I've done with my group coaching program. I actually don't even call it a group coaching program anymore. I consider it my family. As crazy and as cheesy as that might sound, when we go on our retreats and our seminars and we all go and meet up in a certain place, we actually call it family vacation because we see each other as family. Now that's something new that's developed over the past few years as I've implemented implemented these 9 strategies that I'm going to share with you. The first strategy is to leverage the wisdom and the magic in the group. Now, when you first create a group coaching program, it can be tempting to position yourself as the source of all the value in the program. And I caution you against doing that, because that's going to put a lot of pressure on you and it's not very sustainable. So instead of having all that pressure on you, think about different ways that you can leverage the wisdom in the group. So for example, having mastermind sessions or breakout rooms where other people give value to each other. That's just one way that you can do it. The second thing is to only enroll high caliber people. If you make sure that you bring the best people together, then there will be that much more magic and wisdom in the group that you can tap into. The third thing to consider is having an enrollment structure that's closed, which means that instead of letting people enroll into your program at any given time that they want, instead have certain open enrollment periods after which you close it down. What this does is it allows you to focus on marketing when you're in open enrollment phase, and it allows you to focus on serving when it's closed. So that's what we do in our business. We have 4 enrollment sessions every single year that coincide with our retreats. So that's the only time people can enroll in our group coaching program, which means that we get to onboard all those people all at once, focus on delivering massive value, and then continue to serve them until it's time to open enrollment again for the next group of people. Another thing to consider, instead of you being the person that delivers the one-on-one support to people the way you would in a one-on-one program, and if you do want to deliver one-on-one support, consider hiring someone who can provide that level of support on an ongoing basis. Here's what I mean by that. In my program, I love to meet with people on strategy and creative ideas and business models, but I really don't enjoy tracking people's progress and checking in on numbers and doing the analytical stuff. But that's something that I can now hire out to someone else. And actually, it's not as expensive as you might think. There are people out there that can do tracking and accountability coaching for $20, $30, $40 an hour. So that can relieve you of having to do that nitty-gritty work and free you up to focus on more of the high-level work that you enjoy doing. Another thing to think about as you look at running a group coaching program is to develop SOPs, which means standard operating procedures. One mistake that I see a lot of coaches make is that they're always reinventing the wheel and creating things from scratch, things that they've already done before a lot of times. So if you start to document the things that work and rinse, repeat them, tweak them, modify them, improve them over time, you'll start to develop a body of operations that can then help you grow and scale in the future. Running a successful coaching program means making sure that your clients are getting results. So one of the best things you can do in order to prove to yourself, to the world, and even to your clients that they are improving, that they are getting results, is to start tracking certain metrics. So for example, in my world, we do business coaching. So one of the metrics that we track is revenues. When people first come on board with us, we track what they're making, and then we keep tracking that throughout the year until they're done with that first year of the program. And of course, if we're watching that ongoingly, then chances are we're going to improve that, because what we pay attention to generally tends to improve. So what are the metrics that will show, that will prove that you generated results? And don't think that just because maybe you're in a spiritual coaching program or a health coaching program, there too that you can track. A really important part of a group coaching program is accountability, and making sure that your people are doing what they say they're going to do, and that there's implementation that supports the strategies and breakthroughs that you're helping people to have. So the way that you can track accountability is with either software or with spreadsheets. These are my 2 favorite ways. There's software out there, one of them is called Coach Accountable, that helps you track progress and accountability for your clients. Now that Coach Accountable software is a little bit expensive, so if you don't want to invest in that, especially not early on, then you can just create a regular Google sheet that you share with your client where you can see and track their progress. One of the best things that helps you generate results in a group coaching program is gathering. If you are not gathering, whether virtually or in person, then you're losing out on an opportunity to create those bonds that keep people connected and have them stay in your program year after year. Finally, last but not least, one of the things that you can do to really support people's progress and outcomes is having regular check-ins. Something that I do is immediately when we onboard a client, I make sure that I have a private one-on-one deep dive with them. And then I do that again every single quarter to make sure that they're making progress and to make sure that the work that we're doing is working. I also always have a year-end completion call with every single client, even if they've already decided they want to keep working with us. On that completion call, we compare where they are now to where they were then. We have a survey that people fill out at the beginning, at the end, so we can compare how they're doing, both on quantitative metrics, but also on qualitative things like lifestyle and joyfulness. If this is resonating with you and you want to grow your coaching practice in the ways that I've described, let's connect. You can set up a free discovery call with me at superstaractivator.com/go. I look forward to meeting you.